Ted, right? Okay.
Hey guys, it's Ted Bogert. Welcome back to the Ted Show. Yes, Boris, we are going live in the background today. It's Friday. Very excited to have my dear friend and the other friend in the background. We have Kristy Lee with Kristy Lee Art. She has an exhibit coming up, a solo exhibit, The Feminine, Raw and Vulnerable. Plus, she's going to share a lot more about other things that are going on Mills Gallery and elsewhere with her. She's a creative. She's beautiful inside and out. I'm happy to have her back. Welcome, Kristy. How you doing?
I'm amazing, Ted. It's a big time
I
of
love
year
it.
for me. And so I'm honored that you have me here to be able to talk about all this great stuff that's going on here in
So
Orlando and
much.
at Gallery. I know.
So much. You have so much going on, and I want to hear all about it. And I want to talk about the title of your solo exhibit, but I want you to give them just a little bit of background on you for those people who may not have tuned in before and don't know who Kristy Lee is.
Okay. Well, I'm an artist here in Orlando. I work out of Mills Gallery, where I get to do a little bit of my own art. And I love the fact that while I'm here, I get to curate other artists' events, which is so yummy for me. But most of my day I spend in my studio. I paint every single day. It's my passion. I've been doing it for the last 5, 7 years now. And I love everything about it. I get to show my art here and many of the galleries I've been in here in Orlando. Now my art is traveling. I have a rep who takes my art around to all the big events. And I'm super honored, proud, happy to be able to do that. So
You're doing, I mean, so you're almost up there in Boris's celebrity stage. You've got somebody who
I
takes
can
your
never.
art around. Neither one
Yeah,
of us could ever get in with Boris. Boris, and he only needs one name, Boris.
that's
Um,
it. That's it. You're right. Yeah.
we got to give him a hard time. But this show is not about you, Boris. This is about Kristy.
Yes.
So
Yes.
let's talk about the exhibit. I love.
Okay.
So when I saw the title, "The Feminine, Raw and Vulnerable," I thought that is beautiful. So where did that come from? Where did the title come from? Is that a process you go through to try to figure it out, or is it because all of the art just kind of spoke to you and said, "This is what this all represents"? How does that work for you?
Okay, so most of my art in the past few years has been female faces, and people always say to me, do you sketch it? Is it a live model? Like, how do you do it? And the answer to that is, I just do it. Like, I go to a blank canvas and I start putting my feelings, my passion into whatever I think I want to create at the time. So if I'm feeling vulnerable, I think that it comes out in my art because it's so unplanned, each piece. With this collection, it's called Foundation, which I'll be showing at this opening. It's the color of women's foundation faces, but they're all a very deep story, and I will give that story for each painting when I do the exhibition, which I like to do. So it gives people an insight into what I was thinking and what I was feeling, and it lends itself to be raw and vulnerable because I paint by myself in my own studio, which I love because it's all about me. Nobody's bringing in their opinions or thoughts or whatever. And I can just go to my zone. Does that make any sense? I go to my own
Absolutely.
zone and I find my feelings, and that's how I create the paintings. So this whole group, and there are about, I would say now 15 pieces to this exhibition. Well, more to the exhibition, but to this foundation series. And I think that this is the most vulnerable and raw that I've been, which is where the name has come from. Yeah.
It's a beautiful. I love both of those words. I love raw and vulnerable. Talk a little bit about the vulnerable part because people, I think it's a strength. And a
Yeah.
lot of people hear the word vulnerable and they think weakness, you're giving up of yourself, you're letting your guard down. How do you view that word vulnerable?
Actually, the opposite. I really do. I think being vulnerable, being able to put yourself out so people can see who you really are to the core is a gift, I think, that you give people. So I love to go there. When I'm going to give Boris props on this one, because when I first met Boris, I wasn't so able to do that. And we used to sit and talk in the gallery quite often. And he would say to me, tell me about your life. Tell me where you came from. Let's talk about the depth and the good and the bad of where your life started, your journey started, and how you've come to this point. And so from being able to talk about that so much, I've been able to find things in me that I think that we suppress, And
Yes.
so being able to put that on a canvas and show that to the world and be open to having other people see that, hear that, enjoy that is amazing for me. So
It's a beautiful thing to watch when an artist is at an exhibit and they can talk about their art and give this real story. I love art auctioneers and I love gallerists, but it is such a beautiful thing and such a gift to have the artist there to explain what you were feeling, what you were thinking. And I want to ask about that. So you mentioned that you sit down and your art comes to you. The faces aren't models necessarily. This is just you thinking and painting. Does the look of your art within foundation change based on the mood that you were in, or sadness, happiness, anger,
absolutely.
frustration?
Yes, absolutely. So, I think that that's what it's all about, though, because each individual piece, although they stay within the boundaries of the color and the movement that I'm using, each piece is a feeling that I'm having at that moment, that I want to portray. And sometimes it's about something that's wonderful that's happening. And other times it's, one of the paintings is called Invisible. And at sometimes, as you get older or any time in your life, you can sometimes feel like people aren't noticing who you are, like we're at one time we were young and exciting and, everybody wants to be part with us. And then you get a little bit older, and it's not just from being older. Sometimes you're not as pretty or you're not as rich or you don't have opportunities or whatever. And you sometimes feel invisible. And I had gone through that little bitty period there when I was starting to feel like, oh my gosh, I'm not relevant. I'm feeling invisible. So I painted that. And in the painting, you'll see, if you were able to see the painting right now, the eyes are completely washed away, so it tells the story of maybe I can't see you, maybe you can't see me, but I'm still here, so
I can't wait to see that. I think for you, and I want you to answer it instead of me answering it for you, is working on a piece of art when it's finished, is it a cathartic feeling? Is it a healing feeling? Is it just, I know it's like birthing your own, any creative who creates poetry, art, sing, it's their baby. It becomes their baby.
That's
it becomes
right.
their thing.
Exactly.
They birth. Are you feeling
And
cathartic at the end? Is it a cathartic process for you?
I would have to say yes. I think that it always is, because, very often as an artist, you'll hear people say, I don't know if it's finished. Is it finished? Is it good enough? Is there a time when you ever feel like it's just done? And I think I've finally come to that point in my life with my art where I could say, I feel like this piece is finished. It's time to move on. And by being able to create others as a series, you can make that keep going on, because you can make the next painting still be part of what your first initial journey was, but as it goes and evolves, then you come up with all these beautiful pieces in the end. And I think that this particular exhibition for me is probably what I feel is my best work. So I'm really, really excited for people to see that.
You can tell, it's palpable. You can feel it when you're speaking about it. And I love that. I love the expression of that. All right. So before we move on to the other events, tell them again when this opens and how long it goes for and where we can find it.
So it's November 3rd to November 29th. November 3rd is my opening night, so I hope everybody will show up. And we're going to have some Prosecco, a little bit of juice, get everybody excited, get in the mood for an art show. It's free, of course, so come on out. Mix with a lot of other artists and patrons who support the arts, which I love. And I'll be giving tours and explaining, like I said, about the art. So I think it's a great night. And it's Friday night.
3rd.
Yeah,
it's November a Friday 3rd. Night. It's date night. I encourage
Yes.
you, if you haven't been to Mills Gallery, it's beautiful. And Kristy and Boris will give him more credit. I mean, the amount of effort and energy, love and spirit that you all pour into every single exhibit there,
Thank
you
you.
can't find that anywhere else in town. If you, the other ones in town are watching, I still love you. So let's talk about the other events. You mentioned before we went
Okay,
live that there's other events that you want to kind of get out there so that people know what's going on.
sure. Well, let me get my paper
Go
so I
ahead. You
can
can
correct.
read. We
I have
allow
to give you
reading on
the
here.
correct. I have to give you the correct dates. So on November 8th, I host something here called "How to Approach a Gallery," which is open to any artist who wants to come in, whether they're new to art or they've been a while and they want to move their art maybe to the next level. We give you some proper tips. Again, it's free. I love hosting that. I love giving back to the art community. It's one of the things that I'm very passionate about. And then on December 3rd, we have our big event, Jingle Mills, which is open to all artists here in the community, again, for free. I'm sorry, it's $25 to apply, but we give that back if you don't sell anything. But each artist can put up their own table and sell anything they want on that table for $200 or less, which is amazing. Mills Gallery does not take any money from them for any of the sales that they make. All the money goes to the artists so that maybe they can have a better holiday. So I want to open that up to any artist who wants to get in contact with us that they can
That's
still.
awesome.
And then we're inviting all the patrons to come in and buy holiday gifts. Like I said, everything is under $200. And to be able to have some of the amazing artists that come to put up their tables at that event and be able to get Christmas gifts or, just to support the artists, if that's the only thing you want to do. So I'm super excited about that. Another thing that we do next Monday night, I will be my art and the art of Juan Pablo's artist. There's an event downtown called the International Fashion Show that's be going on. So we have been asked to put our art in between the models as they walk through the fashion show. So that should be really.
Wonderful. Which
Yeah.
day? I'm working the
That's-
red carpet for that event next Sunday.
Are you? Okay, well, this is on Monday. I'm sorry. Let me give
It
you the
kicks off
exact
November
date.
1st. Yes, look at your
Right.
dates. You're good.
November 1st. That's the night that I'll be doing that.
Awesome.
Yeah. So
Awesome.
that'll be super fun. And
That's
then what else was I going to tell you about? Oh, big for me. My art will be in Art Basel Week down in Miami. And that's the first
huge.
weekend. Yes, that's huge. That's very huge for me. I'm super, super proud of that. But again, I can only say that I've been really, really blessed and I work really hard. I do work really hard. And I do always want to keep giving back to the community, my community, art community. And here at Mills Gallery, we support artists in any way that we can. So anybody who needs help, who wants to chat, who needs some support, can get in contact with us here. We'll help them in any way that we can. And you know how I feel about that. So
I know you all do an amazing job. The amount of mentorship and free advice and opportunity that you all provide for our arts community, much needed, by the way, for our arts community. It's just such a blessing. I know it is. So no, your show, I want everyone to go off. It's not kickoff, y'all. I'm sorry, I'm so used to parties. It's an opening. The opening of Kristy's show is November 3rd. It's a Friday at Mills Gallery. KristyLeeArt.com is scrolling across the bottom. I have the link to the gallery in the comments section below. So you can also follow that. You can reach out to me. You can reach out to Kristy. I want to see you there. I think this is going to be a beautiful, no, I know it's going to be a beautiful show, but I just want to give you kudos publicly. I think what you do, Kristy, is so important. You are obviously a talented artist who has her own stuff, and yet you continue to give back and you continue to want to help artists out and get their work exposed to the people who we both know will love it. There's going to be someone who's going to love the art that you're getting out there. And for some of them, they don't have any other opportunity. So what you do is a beautiful thing. Absolutely beautiful.
And we need those patrons to come out for Jingle Mills to support
Yes,
these.
we need everybody to go.
Yeah. So.
All right. Wonderful. All right, Kristy Lee, you're amazing. Boris in the background, you know I love you both. November 3rd is the opening of The Feminine, Raw and Vulnerable at Mills Gallery. And then for everything else that Kristy listed, you can go to the Mills Gallery website, which I have in the comments below, or you can reach out to me. Kristy, you're amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. You're amazing for everything that you do.
Well, thank you very much.
Giving all the information and being relevant in the art community and all the communities here. We love you, Ted.
I love you guys so much. You all go to the opening, November 3rd, The Feminine, Raw and Vulnerable at Mills Gallery. We'll see you guys soon. Bye, Kristy. Bye, Boris. Bye, everybody.
Thanks.
Da 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 da.